Hello, my name is Swiss Bianco. In this video we will have a look at Marlin 60 style rifle buffers. Now the Marlin 60, as we have here in front of the camera, was made back then by the Marlin company in many different variations. It started pretty much as the Model 60 that everybody knows, with tube magazine under the barrel. One of the later variation is what we have here on the table, basically a magazine fed variation using a stick magazine. And what all of the different models have in common is the buffer. So basically a rubberized material, relative hard for what it is. It's more of a plastic than a rubberized material. I'm not sure exactly what it is. That is basically at the end of the travel of the bolt, so that as you fire the round, the bolt comes backwards. It hits that buffer part here and not the receiver. The receiver is just a cast material, aluminium, pot metal, a cheap material, and you need to have a buffer so that the bolt doesn't slam all the way back in the receiver and cause a crack. Now those rifles are not made for quite so many years. Marlin got bankruptcy and was only recently back revitalized by Ruger with some other models, mainly the lever action models, not in 22 and not semi-automatic, because that was the Model 60, and all the other models were basically competition to the Ruger 1022. A similar design, just without a buffer. So anyway, those rifles get now a bit older, and if you have one, I would suggest checking out the buffer. So a couple weeks ago I did test fire this rifle, and it gave malfunctions, and then I took it apart, and what I found was basically this. That was the original buffer completely disintegrated into pieces and kaput. So it was time for me to replace the buffer, and since we got that, I did think I quick want to make a video and share my opinions. On a second rifle that I took apart, we see here left and right the indentations of the buffer hitting the bolt hitting the buffer there. So the material is relative non-rubberized, relative strong, and those rifles are now like 20 years old, maybe older, and that part is the weak part of the system, and they only get older and more harder and shrinking and all that. So we see here in the condition of that buffer, if I would have shoot that again, especially with a bit hotter loads like CCI Minimag, that would have completely crumbled away as well. So that is how an original buffer would have looked like, and that is how the crumbled one is. Now, since those rifles are not made anymore for quite a while, no spare parts, etc., just what is on, say, Numrich gun parts, there you can find some if you need a extractor or something like that. That is no problem, but the buffer is a problem. But on eBay they sell 3D printed buffers. Now I was a bit skeptical how well that works, but for now I can say it works really well. It was well worth it to spend the little price on those buffers. They are 3D printed. They come in different hole sizes. Now the way how that is into the system is not that is fixed in place. It always did wiggle like this so that it has a play, because it's simply just a wedge between the bolt and the receiver there. So no worry at all, that is how that is also by the original. So as we look at this one that did not get fired yet, we have a more, I hope the camera can see that, it's more soft, way more soft than the originals, and it feels really well, and it goes back out. It's not gonna stay in. So yeah, at first I was skeptical, but it works really well. Now this is brand new, did not shoot that, but that one got fired and shot. We see so far nothing where the bolt did hit on the buffer. We also see nothing on the back side there. And I'm gonna post from time to time an update in the comments of that video as I shoot that rifle and quick check it, because of course we need to clean it. It's a 22, it gets dirty. Then I check here on the buffer if we have any bolt markings like by the original there, and yeah, so far absolute positive. For the little price, it's I'm not sure exactly what kind of plastic that is, but as long as it's spongy like that, that should work really well. Now last point is how to change the buffer. Now if you are not mechanical inclined too much, forget about it. Go to an armorer or a gunsmith and ask him to change the buffer. The problem is we have one axis that goes through that is wedged between left and right of the steel parts here, and it's stepped. So we have the little C clamp thingy on the left and the right side. Those need to go away, both sides, and you still can't remove the pin because its section that is in between is a bit bigger than by the holes. So you need to basically wedge this and this apart, and then you can wiggle it in, out, and then wiggle it in. And you need to be really careful that the hammer spring and all that, anyway, it flies apart really easy if you don't watch it, if you don't know what you do. So be careful also about the A protection and all that. Just saying, to see that the buffer is kaput, it's relatively easy. You're gonna have parts all over the place, the little crumbles then, and to get the new one is easy too, but to put it in actually in the gun, if you are in doubt, then it's better to let that do by a professional, and that they clean the gun already as it is disassembled, that they clean it so that everything is good and in order and works again. Because those guns are really nice, they work usually pretty good. They are common, there is way many of those different models that they made, and by now, after all the years, the buffer quite likely is the weak part that really needs attention. So if you see small parts, you know what it is. If you disassemble it for cleaning, if it already looks like this one, get some new buffers. It's really worth it. So that much about the 3D printed buffer update for the Marlin 60 and other similar models.